Hello and welcome back to our sessions on Microsoft. Today we're going to have a look at Microsoft PowerPoint. So I'm using a Mac today, which is slightly different to a Microsoft PC. So I'm just going to go down onto my apps and find Microsoft PowerPoint. I'm going to click on Microsoft PowerPoint and you can see that's now opened up PowerPoint for me. So I'm just going to make it slightly bigger. And as you can see, very similar to the other Microsoft applications, that as soon as you open it up, you've got your home tab. When you click on your home tab, you've got all of the different sessions that have been open over the last few days. It gives me any recent documents that I've opened, any pinned documents. I haven't got any pinned documents in there, and any shared documents as well. So any documents that have been shared with me from other people, which is great. Now, I'm going to go back to recent. Now, to get us started, and bear in mind this is an introduction to PowerPoint, I'm just going to open up a blank presentation and I'm just going to talk you through some of the criteria. Now, as you can see on the left-hand side here, you've got elements. I've got the new button there. So if I click on new, it will take me into some new customized themes. So if I wanted to select one of the PowerPoint themes, I could use that. It gives me access to a blank presentation as well. So in case I just want to create my own theme, I can just use a blank presentation. I've got access to the recent documents again there. So that just gives me a list of recent documents. I can go into a larger area, which has got shared documents as well. So I can see all of those in there. And last but not least, I've got my open documents as well. So this is where I can go onto my PC or onto my OneDrive area and search for all of my different presentations. And I can access all of my OneDrive on there. I can add different storage accounts as well. So I can add like my a different OneDrive. I can add my Dropbox or on my Google Drive, whatever kind of drive you particularly use. You can also access via an Apple Mac as well. So I'm going to pop back to my Home tab and I'm going to click on a blank presentation first of all. I'm going to double click on there. And as you can see now, that's now opened up a completely blank presentation for me. Now, what will happen with Microsoft PowerPoint, it will always start you off with your first slide. And it will always give you a title slide as well. So you can see here that already I've got a title slide that's available to me. If I was to click over here and then just do a quick right click, I can add a new slide. And that new slide will then put it into a presentation format for me. So it gives me a title and it gives me a main body. Now, one of the things that's really great on the Home tab is at the top, you've got all your cut, copy, paste and formatting. But just next to that, you've got new slide and layout slides as well. Now, this can be really useful. So if I just drop down on the layout option, you can see that I've got a title and content. That's what's available to me at the moment. But you do have some basic standard templates that PowerPoint gives you on a blank version. So you can have like a blank screen if you're just going to add an image or a video, or you've got content with captions. So you can have some content going on there. So you can have a video in one area, you've got a small title, and then you can have some text. And likewise, you can have that with videos or photographs as well. You've also got some section headers as well. So this is where you might want to break up your presentation. And instead of adding a new title slide, you might just want to put a section slide in there as well. So that enables you to just hold that section there. So there's some real good accessibility, some real good layouts that you can have there just to get you started with Microsoft PowerPoint. So I'm just going to keep the title slide there and that first content slide there to begin with. You can also add section breaks as well. So if you wanted to add a complete section and say, for example, you wanted to add a section in, I can add a section break in here as well. And what that will do is it will just mean that as you're moving on into your slideshow, it means you're moving into a completely different section. So as a trainer, what I tend to do is I use this for sort of day 1 and day 2 training. So for example, I might have all of my slides for day 1, or a body of slides, and then I might put an untitled section or a new section element in there, which I'll call day 2. And actually it means that day 2 slides can just be hidden away until I'm ready to use them. And it just saves me having multiple slides or multiple versions of slides open at any given time. It also means if I'm working for a particular client that I can have day 1 and day 2 all in the same PowerPoint presentation, rather than me having lots of different variations of different slides throughout. So we'll leave that in there for now, and we'll have play around with that a little bit later. Now, as you can see with your home tab as well, you've got all of your kind of different formatting tools. So if I just click in over here, you can see that those formatting tools become available. So I've got my different fonts, I've got the font sizes, I've got my clearing, I've got my making it smaller, making it bigger, font size. I've got all of the same attributes that I would have had throughout Excel and Microsoft Word. Over here, I've got all of the alignment elements. Again, I've got my bullet points, my numberings. So again, you would have seen those, especially in Microsoft Word, you would have seen those. I've got some smart art options here, so I'll talk you through those a little bit later. And then you can also insert pictures or shapes, or you can have extra text boxes in there as well. The arrange all option gives you the ability to arrange your pictures and your background into different positions. And I'll show you how that works a little bit later too. And then on here as well, you've just got access to kind of your shape. So if you wanted to change the color of a particular shape or have it, give it a slightly different outline, then you can do that too. Add-ins allows you to add in certain things. So there are a couple of bolt-ons out there that you can add into PowerPoint. So they could be things like it could be linking it into Zoom, it could be linking it into Teams, for example. And the last element is the designer tool. And the designer tool just kind of helps you put or make the most out of your slides. So it gives you some templates and things to look at. Now, to get us started, I'm just going to add some content because actually, in order for us to show you some of the other elements, we just need to add you some content. So I'm going to add a title. So we're just going to call this, we'll just create a presentation as we're going through. So I'm going to put this out as learning to use PowerPoint. So I've just added that into there. And as you can see already, I've made a spelling mistake and it's telling me already I've got a spelling mistake. So like all the other Microsoft applications, this will actually help bring up your spelling for you. And if I just right click, that will just change that around for me. So I'm going to call it Learning to Use PowerPoint. And I'm just going to put my name in there. So by Dan Coxedge. And just so that everybody knows it's my slideshow. So that's my title slide. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some content to my first slide. So I'm just going to put what is PowerPoint. And this is where we can add in some video content, or we can add in some extra elements, some extra text, for example. Now, actually, in this instance, I'm thinking, well, actually, I know Microsoft has a nice introduction to PowerPoint. So my thoughts are that I could actually put together a small PowerPoint, a small piece of text, sorry, which will just outline that. And then I could also add in a bit of a video into that. So I'm just going to show you how to change the layout. So in this instance, with the layout, I still want a title, but I actually want some content with caption as well. So I'm going to select that one. And you can see already it's kept the title in there for me because I already added it. And I'm down here, I'm just going to add some information that says click to the right to access a short introduction. Yeah, of PowerPoint. Okay. And then down here, it allows you to select. So these little buttons here do actually work. They're not just there to, just to kind of look pretty. So as you can see here, you've got a couple of different parts. You can insert images. They're from online areas. You've got a stock photo area there. So they're the ones that come from, sorry, they come from sort of the element like Microsoft PowerPoint. So when you incorporate PowerPoint as an app into your computer, and it'll download some stock photos for you. So you can either get them online or through stock photos. This is where you can just pick up an image from your actual PC. This is where you can get an image from other sources online as well. So you can get an icon. So icons are kind of little images that you can preset into particular kind of graphics or smart art. And you can insert a smart art there as well. You could insert some elements, a cameo element. So this is where you can put an image of yourself, if you like, talking through, or a particular AI person who's going to talk through for you and talk through the information. You've got access to videos, which can be from files or from online. You can insert a table or you can insert a graph. So in this instance, I'm going to click on this button here because I want to insert a video from somewhere. Now, actually, I know that the video isn't on my computer. So I'm going to have to go into, I'm going to have to go online to find that image, or I'm going to have to download it. So I'm going to cancel that for now, and then we'll go away and we'll find a video, and I'll show you how to insert it a little bit later. If we click on the Cameo here, now as you can see, it's now opened up the designer. So it's saying, well, okay, we can put a cameo in. So it could be me talking to you right now, and if I open my camera, that would happen. But it'll also give you some layouts on this right-hand side as well. So it's saying, okay, well, that's great that you want to add a cameo. Let's see if we can work out a nice kind of frame for that cameo to go in. So you can see that the actual PowerPoint itself is really intuitive. And just by clicking on a few of those buttons, you can access certain things from around the area. Now, we will come back to that a little bit later, and I'll show you how to insert some of those things. But just so that we're working through the Home tab, I'm just going to talk you through some more elements on the Home tab as well. So I'm just going to leave that as it is for now, and we'll come back to that a little bit later. Now, if I'll pop back to my Home tab, you can see already that that's now opened up some of those parts there. Now, we've already started talking about the Insert tab because we started inserting particular things. Because we've changed the layout of the actual slide, it's given us access to some of those insert elements. So as you can see at the top here, we've got a table. We can insert a table there, and you can actually draw the table and how big you want it. We've got some picture elements here, and you can do it from your photo browser. You can do it from files or stock images or online pictures. You can actually do a screenshot as well. We've talked about the cameo, and the cameo is still on the screen. But you can also add shapes, different shaped elements. So if I wanted to add a coloured square at the bottom here, then I can add the coloured square in. I can also insert some icons. And like I said, I'll show you a bit of an icon. I might want to put an icon into this box here. So let's add in a little alarm clock. And let's add that into there, and it'll pop it in somewhere, and I can drag that into my square and make that available. So that's now there, that little icon. I can also change the color of the icon as well. But to do that, I'm going to have to rearrange it. So I talked about the arranging element, so I'll go through that in just a second for you. I could add 3D models as well. I could add some smart art as well, but I'll go through the smart art a little bit later. It's very good for hierarchies or process driven things. I've also got a chart. And then on that as well, I've got access to Zoom, so I can add Zoom links in. I can add in a hyperlink from somewhere. I can show you some actions. So actions are kind of how the slides may transition, or having things fly in or fly out of a slide. And then some of the other elements you've got on here will kind of help with your kind of putting the slides together. If you're sharing the slides with people and you're kind of amalgamating different ideas and different thoughts with people, then you can actually kind of input comments, and you can talk to each other through that comment section as well. Right, along here you can add text boxes, you can add header and footers for when you're printing things. You can add word art as well. So if you wanted to make things or have things stand out a little bit more, you can add your word art in. So it could be that you're putting a different title in there. So instead of what is PowerPoint, you could get ready to help it stand out for a little bit. You've also got your you can add your date and time, your slide number as well. And over here, you've got a couple of things. You've got equations. So if you wanted to kind of look at adding new equations in there, never really used that in PowerPoint before, but I'm sure others have used that. You can add symbols as well. So this is where you might want to add your emojis or different elements, like tick boxes or ticks or crosses. You can add those in. And then over here, you've got your video access, and we can access them from your browser, from file, or you've got online films like YouTube films or films from different online sources. And then you've also got audio clips as well, so you can add in audio clips, or you can record audio clips as well. Now, Microsoft PowerPoint is quite good because actually what you can do now is you can actually record your PowerPoint without using any other kind of recording devices. You can actually record your voice or the video through Microsoft PowerPoint as well, which is really, really good. Or you can upload audio files. If you want to add music to your particular slides, then you can add music into those slides as well. So the insert tab is really, really powerful. And you can see that there's quite a lot of elements on there as well. So some of those elements we're going to go into a little bit more detail about a little bit later. Because as we're going through the learning, I'm going to talk you through the some of those elements to insert. Now, just flicking across here. Now, the Draw tab isn't accessible on all versions of Microsoft. I use Microsoft Office 365. And I have the online version, and I also have an app version as well. I'm just using the app version now. So you might not be able to access these on all of those versions. But I tend to use these when I'm delivering training virtually. And if I'm looking at highlighting things, or if I'm looking at bringing people's attention to certain areas on the slide, especially if I'm going into a bit more detail on those particular things. And you can use those when they're in presentation mode as well, which is really good. You've got design as well. So this is where you can change the layout or the format of your slides or the theme of your slides. So you can actually kind of select your themes. And this is what we would have seen in the new area. When we clicked on it at the very start, we saw all the different themes that were available. And over here, you can also pick your color charts as well. So you can actually select what kind of colors or elements you would like and how your slides will be presented. You've also got the different sizes of slides as well, and you can customize that too. You can also give it your slides a different formatted background, so you can give it like a dark background or a lighter background or a colored background of some kind. And again, at the very top here, you've got your designer, which is what we saw a little bit earlier, where it puts in a different design for your slides for you. And that's all dependent on your theme that you have. And obviously, I don't have a theme at the moment. It's just blank. So it's giving me a different variations of different themes that I might like. Now, at the very top, again, you've then got your transitions. So your transitions is that how you want your slides to morph in and out. So when you're actually presenting them, do you want them to kind of fly out? Do you want them to come in with random bars? Do you want them to kind of shuffle as they go through? I'm a big fan of shuffle. I use shuffle quite a lot just because actually I like different variations. So there's the question mark is like the shuffle is the random amount. So it just means that it will just select what it feels is right for that particular slide. And I quite like that. Some people like to know exactly what's going to happen. So you've got, so they'll select a way that their slides are going out. And that just means that they've got a kind of a systematic approach to the way that the slides are going to be kind of reacting when they click on the next slide button. But again, that's a preference thing. You can also set those to happen through duration as well. So if you know that you're going to spend about 2 minutes on a slide, you can say that you want that slide to move within 2 minutes. You can have it so it does it automatically or on mouse click as well. So you've got lots of different ways that you can do that. So again, I'm quite a holistic trainer. I don't really use slides too much. I just use them to kind of introduce things. But what I tend to do is if I am going to use slides, I tend to not have any timings on them unless I'm recording. And I'm recording like an online webinar, which is going to go out to lots of people. And then I'll then kind of talk through the slides and I'll have them actively move. So I don't really have to click through anything. So there are some reasons that you might use those. But most of the times people will just do it on click anyway. You've then got your animations. So your animations are where how you want your slides to come in and slide out as well. And again, we'll go through some of the animations a little bit later. You've got your slideshow option, and this is where and how you would like to start your slides. You can also record your presentation as you're kind of going through it. There's rehearsing timing options on there as well, that you can use. And again, once you're getting into recording, obviously you've got different recording elements. So you've got recording from the beginning or from the current slide, and you can insert lots of different things there at the same time. Now, like the other Microsoft applications, there's also always a review tab, and this is where you can check your spelling or you can translate different options. You can also access the comments, and there's also the view tab as well. And this is where you might want to view your slides in different ways. So I always have mine on normal, but you could have it as an outline, which gives you kind of what's on your slides. You can have a slide sorter. So if you've got lots of slides on a page, you might want to move slides around. It just gives you a nice overview on how your slides are going to work. You can also have notes pages as well. And I'll show you how to use notes a little bit later on. And also you've got a reading view as well. So this is how you might like to access your PowerPoint slides through a viewer. So this is how like the other person might look at them as well. So I'm just going to escape out of that. Okay, you then got your slide master, handout master, and your notes master as well. Now, I'm not going to talk about these things. These are more kind of advanced things for now. And what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to talk you through some of the kind of more basic elements. So what we'll do is as we're moving into the next section, we'll talk through some of the next section elements, which will be how to set up your slides and how to kind of format them and give them some color. Kind of inserting images and inserting some themes.